Let's talk about Bitcoin. What a crazy day, guys. 1st of June, the month is over. The sideways channel on the monthly chart is no longer an option for Bitcoin, but we have a huge new pattern forming on the weekly chart and on the larger time frames for Bitcoin. I posted it on Twitter already. You can see it right here. And guys, by the way, check out this amazing spot that I found here. I'm actually in the water right now. You can see it. Check it out. And amazing. Absolutely amazing. 1st of June. Is this officially the start of summer? You guys let me know, but it definitely feels like it right here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to dive into the smaller time frames. We're going to continue looking at those targets. And now, as always, before I dive into the content, I got to thank you guys, my first supporters here on YouTube. I appreciate every single one of you. Guys, look at this. It's kicking off in the background. And if you want to see more stuff like this and get daily market updates, make sure to hit subscribe and the bell to get notified when I update the Bitcoin price every single day, no matter where the market's going, up, down, or sideways. Now, guys, let's kick things off on the smallest time frame as always. Let's dive into the 4-hour chart. All right, guys, you can see it here already. Another chart you should be very familiar with, something that I've been talking about for the last 3 weeks or so. And yeah, the main thing we want to focus on is those resistance levels that we can see at the top here, the orange lines, right? These two right here. So these are giving us the strongest resistance in this range currently since 3 weeks, alongside with the EMA 50 here on the 4-hourly chart. We now finally broke above it and actually got a bullish flip. The 20 EMA went above the 50 EMA for the first time since somewhere in March, you know, so this is a massive one, of course. But now what we want to do is we want to confirm support above a strong resistance. And guys, this is not something I drew yesterday. These are lines that we've been looking at for weeks now. You know it if you've been following. So we broke above it. We couldn't confirm above it. And now we're actually getting resistance from it here right now. So this is obviously our first step here, break back above it and confirm support there to then go to those targets that we've been talking about all along between 35K and even 40K. All right, so let's look at those as well. I'm not looking at the support levels. I mean, they haven't changed either. 28,700 and 28,150, the low points of this range that we don't want to start closing 4-hourly candles below, right? So now let's look at the top here. If we break above these two orange lines, then we have here right around 35,000 and a half, 37,000 and a half, and 40K, those numbers that we've been looking at all along as our targets here, if this rally continues, right? Let's get confirmation from a Fibonacci perspective as well and use my other 4-hourly chart here. You always want to look at multiple indicators and time frames to get confirmation of those levels that you're looking at. Very important. So now we can see here that we've been sitting right below the compression area, the high compression area of 38.2 to 61.8 for quite a while. It's been holding us down here. You can see it. We tried to break above it one time, got rejected here by the 4-hourly 50 EMA as well as the 38.2, the entry of the compression area. And now we're sitting right on top of it. So obviously our next target here is the 50 and then the obvious target, the 61.8, the top of the compression area. So right around 35K. If we would break above it, we know there's a lot of fake outs in these areas. Then we have to look at the 78.6 as the line in the sand, and there you see it, right around 37,000. So alignment on the support and resistance levels with the Fibonacci retracement of this last major dip here. Now let's go over to the daily chart as well and check it out over there. Another chart that you should be very familiar with by now. All we want to do right here is track those levels once again. So here we see it, the Fibonacci retracement, the larger Fibonacci retracement coming from all the way from 48K down here to 26.5K. And there we see, we're sitting right below the 23.6 again. So we're trying to enter the Fibonacci retracement here, getting strong resistance from the 23.6. And then of course, if we break above that, if we get the confirmation here on the slightly larger time frame as well on the daily chart and close a daily candle right above here, somewhere around, let's say 32,200, then we have the confirmation that we need to continue here to 35K, the compression area of this Fibonacci retracement of the larger one. Then our targets are here once again, 37,500 and 40K, but nonetheless, the line in the sand to enter that area is the 38.2, right around 35K as well. So now we have this alignment on the smaller time frames, on the 4-hourly, on the daily chart, on multiple indicators. So obviously, guys, if you've been following, this is nothing new. This is something I've been talking about for the past 2 weeks. But of course, I want to keep you updated on anything that's developing in those charts. Now, of course, we had a bit of a rally and we are sitting right at the resistance, at the confirmation level that I've been talking all along, right around 31,000 to 31,600. I told you guys, is the level that we want to close above to then continue up to the 35K levels. There's one more chart coming up and this one is massive. I promised you guys the massive falling wedge pattern that I already posted on Twitter here. Make sure to stick around. Right guys, as you see, we're still hovering around those exact resistance levels that I've been talking about, those top orange lines. And of course you saw it as well on the Fibonacci retracement. We need to confirm solid support above those levels so we can go up to the 35K and 37K region. I mean, that's the play in the book right now for Bitcoin, the bullish play. And once we get to those levels, then it becomes decision time for Bitcoin. Are we breaking above that? Are we continuing in this massive falling wedge pattern that we're about to see on the weekly chart? Guys, that would be insane. This is a bullish pattern. We're expecting to break out of it to the upside most of the time. So if this happens, obviously, we got to take a technical measurement of that pattern, and let's do that right now. All right, guys, here you can see it. A massive falling wedge pattern here that's been forming this trend line here. We can see the support trend line here coming all the way from September last year. And then we have, of course, here the touch point of the 69K all-time high. And then, of course, the next touch point here coming from the last rally that we saw up to 48K, where we then created this evening star pattern. Of course, a very bearish pattern that took us all the way down here, trying to confirm the support now on this falling wedge here. Of course, a confirmed trend line is always a trend line that has at least 3 individual touch points. And this is what we're trying to achieve here right now. And then, of course, let's take the Fibonacci retracement of that trend here. So this is obviously a downtrend, so we start at the top. Excuse me guys if this is not perfectly precise, but I'm standing here in the water with the sun basically going in my face. I forgot my sunglasses. So yeah, now we want to see again, what is the confirmation level if we break above it, right, that we have an actual bull run instead of just a relief rally that we're looking for to 35 or 37,000, right? So then we look at the resistance level here of this falling wedge and the area coming in nicely here around the 23.6, right? The entry level, the first step on the ladder for the Fibonacci retracement here. And there you can see it right around 37,000 is when we're getting strong resistance here. Of course, depending on how long this takes. But if we get there in the next couple of weeks here to test the resistance again, then we would be right around in this 35K to 37K region. The region where then it becomes decisive. Do we break above it? And then we take a technical measurement here from this pattern. If we break out, of course, how far can we go to the upside? Right, guys, take it all the way from the top here, all the way down here, and its largest point. Take the measurement to the breakout area. Here we go, somewhere around the 23.6, and there you guys can see it. That would take us almost spot on exactly to our previous all-time high. We need to keep our eyes on this. Make sure to subscribe. I will keep updating you on how this is proceeding. What we're trying to achieve right now here is, of course, close the current weekly candle here bullish to confirm the third touch point here on this trend line and then break above the 35 and 37K area. And guys, once again, this is a bullish pattern that's been forming for a very long time. And the larger the time frame, the more weight it carries. You know it, guys. And if this breaks out, this would be huge. If we break out of this, then we could go to crazy targets. 360K is on the table. Time for me to cool down. I got to get my shirt off. The only reason why I wear this is, of course, I don't want to be shirtless on YouTube. And I have to clip on the microphone somewhere. So, all right, guys, you can see this is an extremely strong region that we bounced out of and that we're confirming the support out of now. Of course, this is a weekly candle that we're forming here, so there's still a few days left for this to close. But of course, after 9 weeks in a row closing bearish candles, this would be insane. And this would be a nice setup for us to try and break that resistance of the falling wedge. And then, of course, guys, you know what's coming. Guys, as always, thanks for watching all the way until the end. Happy trading and see you very soon.